Hi everyone! What is today? Wednesday. I hope y'all are doing great and that you're having a wonderful day so far. Don't mind the clutter in the background. I always shoot these from my house, and so it's a bit chaotic because I had a bunch of boxes received. So let me just get our guest for today and hold on one moment. I'm just going to invite them to this. Here we go. Okay, so invite. Here we go. All right. So I hope you all are having a great day. As I said, don't mind the mess in the background. That's just how life goes. And we'll get started in a bit. But anyways, oh, hello, Shay.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I am well. How are you?
Doing well as well. Let me just get my setup taking care. I usually prop it on my yoga blocks, which is like kind of funny. But okay, here we go. Does that work? Yeah. Okay, perfect. Yay. Well, thank you everyone for joining. I'm so excited to have Shay on as our guest today. Wow, there's a lot of people here. Shay, you are very popular.
Hi, hi, Statya.
Yay! Awesome. Well, if everyone is as everyone is joining, I'm just going to give a brief synopsis. It is episode 7 of the Planty of Friends podcast. I'm so excited to have our guest today. She is a special friend of mine and just really supportive of, Live Long and Plan and myself throughout the last couple years. And so I'm really grateful for our friendship. But anyways, welcome Shay from Shay D Designs. Yay! Oh, there would be like an applause if I had music. But I'm so excited to have you on the podcast. How's your day going outside of Will?
Well, to be honest, I've only been awake for an hour. I mean, okay, I guess I've been awake longer, but I didn't get out of bed until an hour ago. I was cuddling with my cat, so that's the best way to start the day. But yeah, I'm doing
Oh,
good and just yeah, I've been excited to do this with you because, girl, I adore you. I remember the first market we ever did together, and I just was like, who is this? Like, I loved your giggle, first of all. I was like, who is this girl? And I met you and your boyfriend, your partner. Um,
yes.
and just having some cool first time conversations and learning about, your business and where you were at that time. And I was just like, you know,
Oh,
you're a really genuine, cool woman. So I was like, yeah, this is a cool
well,
chick.
thank
So
you.
I'm happy to support you, and I also appreciate your support as well, because that's that's what it's all about. So
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate you. And yes, when I first met you, I was like, ooh, she's like putting off some good vibes. So I was really excited to get to know you over the past couple years. And I know that it's all about like supporting each other and just that's what I found the most valuable out of being part of this vendor community is just trying to lift each other up and just try to have some positivity. So um enough of like all the love, but um but I want to start off with some basic questions. Where did you grow up? Because I know you're not from Washington originally, right?
nope, I've been here for 21 years, but I did not grow up here. I grew up on a horse ranch in southeast Idaho. Um, Country bumpkin, I had a pet goat. Like that was all I wanted for like my 10th birthday was a goat. And I've always been an artist. I've always, ever since I could hold a pen or a pencil, I was drawing pictures for my mom. And I always collected things. I collected rocks. I had boxes of rocks that my mom would have to tell me, like, okay, Shayla, you need to pick which ones are your favorite, and then we need to put the rest outside. And I was like, no. yeah, I was always outside, you know, digging up stuff. I'd find fossils and cool stuff like that. And I was a total horse girl. I was a, you know, I showed in horse shows and I rode. I did all the things with the horses and um but then yeah, I always did art, and then I moved away when I was 17. I packed up and moved away and started, you know, living the adult life and had just regular jobs. I was a cashier at a grocery store and um, wanted to go to, I did go to school for a little bit at Idaho State University as an art major, and I liked it, but at the same time, I was like, this is boring. So I just wanted to make stuff and paint and draw. And I always sold my art. Even when I was a junior in high school, I would paint and I would have my artwork up at like a local restaurant and I'd sell it. And then I fast forward, moved out here. My brother lives out here, my big brother, and became a barista, and then started wanting to wear jewelry. I never used to like to wear jewelry. And but I was so picky. I was just like, I want to wear some earrings. I want to wear a necklace. But everywhere I'd go, I was like, it's too blingy, or it's too this, or it's too cheap looking, and so I was like, maybe I should just make my own jewelry. And so I went to a bead store here in Seattle. It's not here anymore, unfortunately, but it was called Fusion Beads in Wallingford. And I just went in there and I told the girls, I was like, I want to make myself a necklace. So can you show me like what should I do? What should I buy? And they were like, oh, you should take one of our classes and learn how to wire wrap and stuff. And I was like, oh, what? You have classes? So I started taking classes and I started making my own jewelry. And then I would just get compliments and stuff at the grocery store or wherever I was, like, hey, where'd you get that necklace? That's cool. And I was like, oh, I made it. And they're like, well, how do I get one? Do you make jewelry? And I was like, you know, in my mind, I'm like, well, that's a thought.
Yeah.
Maybe I can make jewelry. Okay. And I was like, sure, I'll make you one. Why not? And we'd swap phone numbers. This was like pre-Facebook, pre-Instagram. Like you
Yeah.
either talk to people on the phone or you see them in person, or that's it. You know what I mean? So, um, but yeah, that kind of started the jewelry making thing. I just started getting compliments, and then I started making a lot of jewelry. I was just like, this is so fun, and I'd make myself collections like matching necklaces and earrings and stuff. And then I walked into my first local boutique. It's also not there anymore, but it was in Wallingford. It was called Reputation, and the owner is still a dear friend of mine. Her name is Jen Wen. And I walked into her boutique and I was like, hey, I also shopped there. So I knew the boutique well. And I was like, maybe my jewelry would sell well there. So I just walked in and was like, Jen, would you be interested in carrying my jewelry by chance? And she was like, oh my gosh, yes, I didn't know you made jewelry. Show me. So I was like, well, let me go get it. It's in my car. So I just brought her some jewelry and to look at, and she was like, I love it. Let's do this. And she kind of talked about, hi, Tani. um, Talked about, you know, the consignment agreement and how that all goes, because I'd never done that before. And I was like, cool, let's do it. And so went home and made a line sheet and tagged everything and was like, oh my gosh, this is, you know, it was like a big deal to me. So that was my first experience selling, like really selling my jewelry. And then it did so well. And she was like, Shay, we need more jewelry. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then being in that boutique got me into another boutique on Upper Queen Anne that's also not there anymore. Unfortunately, it was called Bouncing Wall. And then I also got into a boutique in Ballard, and then I got into a shop in the Pike Place Market. And I was just like, you know, all the while I did markets and little trunk shows and events and stuff. There used to be a really cool event in Wallingford again, at the Nectar Lounge. They used to, it was closed obviously on Sunday mornings,
Hmm.
and then they would open later in the day. But this girl would rent out Nectar Lounge and opened it up for artists to come and sell and set up, and it was called Intarsia. It was so cool. Um, that was way back in the day, like 2000, 2007, 2008. Um, and then that just got me into other boutiques or into other, you know, people's hands. So it's just incredible how it all just kind of like
Yeah.
unfolded and was like, whoa. And then Instagram, I got on Instagram and was just having fun with it, you know, back in like, I don't know, 2013. And I was just like, this is so fun. And I just post pictures about whatever, you know, and it was just fun. And then I was like, oh, maybe I can do my jewelry on here too. So started learning how to take pictures and better pictures and build a light box. And um, it all just kind of evolved into what it is now. And it's just pretty amazing because it was like, of course, you know, there's a lot of effort and a lot of work that goes into it. And you get a lot of no's, you get a lot of like, no,
Yeah.
no, thank you. And you're like, you got to mend your heart back together and like be like, okay, that's okay. You know, you're going to get some no's, but you end up getting a lot more yeses than no's if, you know, the more you put yourself out there. So
Yep.
you just kind of have to be your own cheerleader and your own biggest fan for a while, and until, you know, you really evolve your brand and really get it down to, you know, to really what your true essence is, you
Hmm.
know. And I started figuring that out maybe halfway through my entrepreneurship, is where I was like, okay, I know who I am now. Like
Yeah.
I know who I want to be for my customers and for um I don't know, even if they're not a customer, just a follower or a friend or a co-worker or whatever. I just was like, okay, I know what I want to kind of like fine tune here.
God.
Um, and
Yeah.
that, yeah, that was a long answer and probably answered many questions all at once. But hey,
No, I
it just,
I want to break down because there was a lot to unpack, right? I want to break down certain aspects because I think it's really important for people to hear, you know, just kind of the intricacy of everyone's journey because not everyone's journey is the same. It's like the same but different almost. Like we all kind of go through similar waves and similar you know, workflows, but we all do it in different ways or we all process things in different ways. And I know you had said that you did a lot of your business pre kind of this social media boom, right? Like, I want to kind of unpack that and, you know, see what it was like the more traditional route of like actually going to stores or, you know, having friends and family kind of do word of mouth. Um, how do you compare that experience to like current day experience where it's just like it's all online, you don't have to do, you know, in-person visits, you can do pop-up markets, but really like you can just do everything at your fingertips.
it was, you know, at the time, Binks, I will play with you in about 40 minutes. You all will meet Binks. A lot of my customers and my fans know Binks and love Binks, so I
Yeah.
definitely will have to show Binks. He'll hop up here on my desk and
Oh,
at some point. Um, but anyway, so to be honest, at the time I had nothing to compare it to, so it was just that was the only option that there was to take my physical body into a boutique, ask for the manager, and ask them if they wanted to carry my jewelry, if they at least wanted to see it.
mhm.
Um, and it took a lot of just, you know, gritty courage. Like you just had to do it. That's the only option, you know. I'm not the type of person where I'm just going to email somebody without my face and just be like, hi, I make jewelry. Would you like to carry it? I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going to walk myself in the door and I'm going to ask them, introduce myself and ask them if they would be interested. And I remember like sitting in my car before I'd get ready to go in there and I would just be shaking and like, it's okay. My voice was shaky sometimes. I was just like, starting to like sweat because you're just like, it's like it felt like I was about to go on stage and
Yeah.
do this whole show or something. I was just nervous, just because of that fear of being rejected. But again, you get over that real quick.
Mm-hmm.
But and then once I'd get in there and I'd ask for the manager and I just have to, I remember my thing was I'd hold my hand and I'd have to squeeze my finger, and somehow that calmed me. I was like squeezing my finger until it was like white.
Oh.
And here he is. Say hi. Boop, 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 boop.
Oh my
He
goodness.
hops up here and hi,
So cute.
Mink. Hello, everybody.
Oh,
So, so it definitely took a lot of yeah, just courage, and you just had to not think too much about it. Just
yeah.
just go. And then
Yeah.
if you're told no, it's like, thank you so much. Just keep me in mind if you ever, here's my card, keep me in mind if you just ever have any openings or anything like that, or if you're ever interested in the future. But then when you get a yes, I would go in my car and just like, so excited, just like, they said yes. And I'd call my brother, I'd call my mom, and then, the cool thing about the very first boutique I got into in Wallingford, she had a friend who was opening up a boutique on Upper Queen Anne, and she came to visit her at her boutique, saw my jewelry, and was like, "Oh my gosh, this stuff is so cool. Is this made locally?" And she was like, "Yeah, here's her card. Give her a call." And then that was that. I didn't. My jewelry sold sold itself. She reached out to me, said, "Hey, saw your jewelry at Reputation. Would you be interested in having your jewelry at my boutique? It's not open yet, but," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes, 1,000 yeses." And then I was also a barista in Ballard. I used to manage Firehouse Coffee. In fact, I opened up Firehouse Coffee in Ballard in 2003 with the original, or 2002 with the original owners.
Oh my
And
God.
I was the main barista there for like 8.5 years, and I knew everybody in Ballard. So yeah, so there was a woman who was just about to open a boutique right across the street from us, and she would come in and get coffee, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I love your jewelry. I'm opening a boutique right across the street. Would you like?" So there was another boutique. I sold my jewelry there for years, and then actually ended up working for her too, because she was like, "You're just so cool, and my customers love you so much. Would you mind just coming and working like one day a week?" So I did that, and then it just kind of happened and flowed that way. But in the beginning, I definitely, it was walking into the boutiques and asking like, "Do you love me? Would you like to carry my jewelry?" And then yes and no, or yes and no, yes, no, but more yeses. And then it just kind of happened. I Same thing with the shop that I got into in Pike Place Market and sold there for, I think, 6 years. Was the same kind of thing. He came to an event that the boutique up on Upper Queen Anne had, because I'd sold with her for 3 years, and then she was about to have a baby, and it just became too much to have a brick and mortar shop, so she was going to close it down. But she had a huge party, a huge like bon voyage party for her top 15 sellers in her shop.
Oh, okay.
And at some place on Capitol Hill, anyway. And then this adorable guy came up to me and he was like, "I have a shop in Pike Place Market and I would love to have a trunk show with you. Would you be interested?" And I was like, "Yes." So I had a trunk show, and then that did so well. He was like, do you mind if we just keep your jewelry here for like the month?" And I was like, "Sure." And then after that, he was like, "Do you want to just rent one of my jewelry cases and you can just sell here and you can come and actually be here if you want to or not. It's up to you. And I was like, yes. So, and the cool thing is all of these people I'm still friends with, and they still support my business, and I still support them in wherever they have evolved in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And all the friends I've met along the way and customers, and it's just incredible. And then, yeah, fast forward to Instagram and all that, and it's like, it's just so different. Yes, it's easier, but at the same time, not. It's
Mm-hmm.
just different, because I still work just as hard, if not harder, because you want to put a lot of thought and intention into what you post, and and you want your product to come across well, so you really need to work on your photographs and make sure that what you make looks
Yeah.
just like this in the picture, so there was a learning curve with that, which was actually really fun. And I've been so happy to help my other maker friends. Many of my maker friends who also make jewelry, I help them build their light boxes, because I'm like, you've got to build a light box. It changes everything. Like, I built mine out of cardboard box and tissue paper and poster board. Like, it's like you can build it, and it is just life-changing for your work and for your Instagram. And so it definitely is still a lot of work. It's just different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you can definitely, obviously, having your stuff on Instagram or Facebook or something, it's like more of it's kind of like an interactive website.
Mm-hmm.
Thanksy.
He's like, Mom.
That's Mom, I want to go outside. We'll go for a walk here soon.
That's so cute. No, I appreciate the insight, and I think that it's really interesting that even social media, even with these kind of like online tools that we have, at least for myself, a lot of the things that I found most successful is just word of mouth and really like finding the people that you click with. And then it's kind of like a spiral effect, right? Like, it just continues, and people reach out to you, people want to buy what you're selling, or really like gravitate to who you are as a person, or just something like that. And I truly think that just having those key relationships and making good friendships with people, even if for example, like, it took me 6 months to get into my first shop, because I literally I didn't stalk them. I kind of stalked them, not really. I saw it online, and then I was like, hey, I just want to reach out, this is who I am, I love your store, let's see how it goes. And then you just foster those relationships until they kind of say, oh yeah, we're looking for another vendor, or something to that effect. And it's different for everybody's journey, but I think that for the most part, it is important to have to build and foster those relationships. Mm-hmm. Even if it's not going to yield anything right now, you're investing and putting effort into it. And that's what it sounds like you kind of did. So yeah. I know. You have a lot of friends on here who are saying, like, yes, you were the rock star from the day you were born. And then, yes, a lot of people love Shay and love you and your products. So just wanted to point that out. The comments.
Gosh, I don't have my glasses on, so I'm like, I can't see the comments unless I get like really close. So awesome. Okay.
Lots of positive feedback.
Let's see here. Let's see. What do we have?
Yes.
Jerica and Amanda. Hi, girls. Yeah, I'm blind as a bat.
No, you're fine. Mo Design said, I really appreciate this live. It means a lot to hear about your store, and it helps me out as I'm starting. So love that. I think that's the whole point of having these conversations, is just to make sure that people can hear your journey, especially since you've been in the game for so long. You've been in, I think you said 15 years, right? Yeah. I know there's like a delay, but yes, and Jerica said you are a good person, which I
I
wholeheartedly agree.
Oh, I can scroll back. I want to say something to Instagram handle Mo Designs, and she says she's just starting out. I love that because that is that is something that, I wish that I had when I was starting out. Was I wish that I had somebody who had been doing it for a minute, and just tell me that, you know what, just do it. Just go and don't stop and don't give up and don't be derailed if you get told, no, thank you.
Mhm.
It doesn't have anything to do with you or your product. It's just that it's not a good fit for them and probably wasn't a good fit for you. So just keep going and do your thing. Like, if you're just starting out, my biggest message is don't give up. Y'all, I've been doing this for 15 years. Oh my God, that makes me really old. But I I will say I didn't have a support system because I did. I had my brother and I had my mom that I could call in Utah or whatever. But I didn't have an actual other until further along into my entrepreneurship. I had more friends and more maker beginning. Like I said, I had to be my own cheerleader and just, kick myself up off the floor and be like, get going, keep going, don't stop. Look for another boutique. Look in the Wallingford neighborhood. Go check out Fremont. Go walk around. Go inside and yeah, my biggest message is don't give up. Don't give up. And you're gonna grow so much from the experience and the your business and yourself and your products are gonna evolve with you. And it's so exciting to watch, when I think about what I was creating 15 years ago compared to what I'm creating now. I'm like, wow. And you have to remember to give yourself a pat on your own back and just say, good job. Look at how far you've come. Look at where you were just, 5 years ago.
Mhm.
That's a lot of time, and a lot of growth happens in that time, and a lot of, frustration happens in that time. And you really get to see how much you grow as a human being when you don't give up on yourself. So
Yeah.
that's my biggest message. Okay, anyway, I'm
No, I
done.
love that. No, hey, I think any kind of, good advice and good tidbits, especially for somebody who's just starting out. I wish I had, I mean, I had a lot of friends who, not a lot, but like some small business people, but really like when you start out, at least for myself, it was hard to find that community and find people who are willing to even share certain things. And I think along the way, as you make good connections, they do. But I do think that, especially when I first met you, you were so willing to just be like, hey, these are the markets I'm at. Hey, this is what I think you should do. Hey, this is like what I learned in my experience. Um, and I was really grateful for that. And I think that it's important to really just connect yourself with certain people that are maybe 1 to 2 to 5, 10 steps ahead of you, because you learn so much. And when I first started doing that, it was like almost
Mhm.
FOMO, like, oh, or jealousy almost, like, oh my gosh, why is this person ahead of me or whatever. But I learned to kind of switch that mentality and be like, this is what I aspire to be or to do. And so I think just partnering with certain people and like yourself, or people who have been in the game for a really long time, is super beneficial. And I love your point about like, don't give up, and give yourself a pat on the back and tell yourself you're doing a good job, because you really are. Everyone grows at different paces. Awesome. I was just trying to read some of the comments.
Yes.
Yeah. Jerica said, every sale fills my soul with so much gratitude. Your art represents you, and Shay has been a mentor for me too. So darn grateful. Um, Mo Design said community. I think it's, it's just replicating the different greatness, the different thoughts that we all need to hear throughout the journey, because it can be super some parts of the business can be really like downhill almost, right? Like there are peaks and valleys in all of our businesses. Um and I think it's great to surround yourself with a good community to kind of bring you up at all times. Sorry, that was like a super long. Perfect.
100%.
Awesome.
I love it. I love this conversation. I mean, and I know it's a podcast about Shay D Design, but I don't necessarily want it to be all about me, because I for the people that do end up watching, they get to hear both sides, because you're an entrepreneur too, and I think that like the dialogue and the feedback back and forth is like, could potentially really inspire some people to just be like, yeah, I can do this. Let's go, and I love, yeah, this is cool. I like it.
Oh, I'm so happy. I guess getting back to some of my thoughts and questions of your brand and your personality, how would you describe that?
My brand is, my brand is me. It's my beliefs and my how I want women, or just any of my customers, to feel when they buy my jewelry, when they support my business, when they go out in their day, in their job, wearing a new labradorite necklace that they bought from me over the weekend or something like that. Like, I want what my brand and what I am behind my jewelry is, I want women to feel beautiful and powerful. And I also like to, educate my customers on, the powers and the energetic attributes of these gemstones, because they are from our earth. Our earth created all of these gemstones because of her shifting and her evolving, all of the different temperatures and the pressure of the earth shifting and changing and evolving herself. She creates these beautiful gemstones, and they're very powerful. And I like my customers to know about that. And that just gives that piece of jewelry that much more meaning. It's not just, ooh, it's pretty and it goes with this sweater. It's like they put it on and they're like, okay, I feel that, there's the energy behind it. And if they just understand it a little bit, they feel it. And I know it. I hear it all the time. Like, some women will message me and be like, I rocked this presentation that I had to do today. I was rocking my labradorite necklace or my black onyx or my tourmaline, whatever. And they're like, I rocked it. And I felt so powerful with my power necklace on. I felt like a goddess. And I'm like, yes, 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 I did it. I want women to feel beautiful, powerful. I want them to feel like the goddess that they are, and tap into that incredible divine feminine energy that is so powerful. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that is my intention behind my product, and that is my brand, is really just empowering women. And I will say, yes, some guys have bought my jewelry as well. I have a customer, actually I have two of my male customers that I love it too, because they're like, you helped me tap into my goddess energy. And I'm like, yes. So it's like, it's just whoever it is drawn to it is who it's for. That's what it is. Because, my jewelry is not for everybody. Sometimes people don't want a gemstone or the crystals or the gemstones or even gold.
Mhm.
And that's another thing that I transitioned to, I'd say about maybe 4 years ago, 3, 4 years ago. I used to work with all different kinds of metals. I used to work with raw brass and natural brass and copper and silver.
Mhm.
And I dabble in a little bit of gold because it's expensive. And so I just try all these other metals and different gemstones. But then I personally started really loving gold, and I never used to be a gold person. I was always like silver or like the more neutral, natural, softer
Mhm.
metals like brass or brushed brass or copper. But it just, like I mentioned before, you evolve, you just watch yourself evolve in your business, and you just kind of take a new little path, still your brand. I've always been my brand, but it just kind of took a little turn and became, a little bit more of a higher quality metal. And I love the feel of gold. It's also to me very feminine too. Um, and I do still work with silver for sure. I do custom stuff if a customer wants, this design, but in silver, boom, no problem. I can do that. But um, yeah, there's another long-winded answer to that question. But beauty, like inner beauty, nothing outside of you, but just inner beauty, inner goddess,
Mhm.
um, inner power. That's the energy I want, my customers and my women to feel when they buy my jewelry and wear my jewelry. Is I want them to feel all those incredible vibes.
I love it. No, I love that. And I mean, that's the whole point of this is just to really get down to, who you are and what your brand stands for. And because we all create our company for some reason, and it all
Mhm.
means something to us in some personal way. And so I love that you were able to really um, describe, how your brand connects with people. And I love that it's about, feminine empowerment and bringing out that inner goddess within us. And I know that when I wear my earrings from you, I feel like a badass bitch. So, and Ryan has bought like a handful from you for me too. So he always knows that your jewelry is a go-to when it comes to presents for myself.
Yay.
um,
Thank you,
a
friend.
Yeah. When it comes to your stones and the types of gems that you use, what is your picking process? How do you even decide what to use?
I have a lapidary. And for those of you that don't know, a lapidary is a stone cutter. But they are also, not always, but they can also be a rock hound, which means that they actually do digging themselves. And when I very first started my business back in 2006, I flew out to see my mom in North Ogden, Utah, and because she had told me about this rock shop that she likes to go to get her, like if a necklace breaks or something, she can go have it repaired there. But she also healer and a naturopath in Utah, so she uses a lot of gemstones and crystals for her clients. And
Mhm.
so she would go to that shop a lot. So she's like, you need to come to this shop, and she was like, I'll help you buy your first round of gemstones. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is just starting out. That's a huge deal. So she took me to this shop, and I picked out a bunch of gemstones. And he also carried, strands of gemstones that he would buy from other, what do you call them? Gemstone wholesalers.
Oh yeah.
And so I'd pick out some stuff, but then he also just had baskets and buckets of rocks. And I was like, what do you do with these? And he's like, well, some people just buy them and like them as they are, or sometimes I'll cut into them and I'll polish them. I'll make cabochons. I'll turn something into a ring or a piece of, whatever. And I was like, whoa, that's cool. But at that time, he didn't do it for me. because it was he had some very old school like wet saw and just old school lapidary equipment.
Mhm.
Um, but then, and so, but anyway, that was my first round of gemstones 15 years ago, got from him. I've purchased from him for 15 years. And so I'm pretty much grandfathered into whatever he comes up with.
Yeah.
And about, I want to say like 6, 7 years ago, it's in 2013. Yeah, around 2013, he reached out to me and was like, hey, Shay, next time you come to Utah, you got to stop by. We've got all new stone cutting equipment. We've got all the state of the art, and we have also, 3 other new pieces of equipment, whatever, that he can do like really, really nice stone cutting.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh my gosh, let me get on a plane like right now. So
Yeah.
I came, visited him, and he showed me how fast this equipment could make a cabochon and I've taken a cabochon making class myself. It took me 6 hours to make one cabochon. I mean, that was also just learning
Sure.
it all in one, anyway. I did that. I took a class at Northwest Rockhounds here in Seattle. And anyway, he showed me how fast it made one cabochon, and it was like less than 10 minutes. And it was perfect. It was beautiful. He of course is doing the work, but it's just so much faster. And he's also so much faster because he does it all the time. But he was like, here's what I have right now. We just found this agate here. We just got this agate here. These are like, he's showing me slabs just of slices of rocks. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love this one. I love this one. And so while I was there, he was like, well, what kind of shapes do you like? Do you like ovals? Do you like teardrops? What do you like? And I just drew some different shapes, like I don't have any right in front of me. Oh, like something like this, like a shape like that, right?
Yeah.
Instead of a teardrop or a oval. I've just drawn a piece of paper, like all the different shapes that I would like if he could do it. And he cuts right into it. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, it didn't take him 15 minutes to do all of them, but I was there with my mom for about 5 days. And at the end of 5 days, he had cut like 30
Oh, wow.
stones for me, all custom shapes and designs and with whatever he had available. And I was just like blown away. And so ever since then, we just go back and forth whenever I'm ready to do, a big purchase or a big order. I'll just message him. He'll message me back and and then I'll just draw different shapes. And I'm not super particular about which stone is what shape. It's like whatever, maybe if the stone is a little harder, he'll do like a more easy shape. And if the stone's a little softer, it's easier to cut a different, more intricate shape if I have, it's whatever he has available and whatever works for whatever shape I want, if that makes sense. And so that's where I get a lot of my gemstones. And of course I purchase from, of course I'm going to try different lapidaries and different other companies. There's also some companies on Etsy that I'll try their gemstones, or there's definitely, I've made a couple of contacts with some gemstone wholesalers at the International Rock and Gem Show that's at the Seattle Center here in I think it's on Queen Anne. And so I've met a couple of guys. One other main one is from India. He's in Jaipur, but he sells, all over the world, and he has incredible gemstones as well. And he's so great to work with. So I also work with him as well. So I've got a couple of main guys, and then I will of course try some different shops here and there. Mostly I find them on Etsy, or if one of my other jewelry friends will recommend somebody to me, like my girlfriend who makes rings. She'll message me sometimes and say, Shay, you've got to check out this website. You've got to check out these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, so it's just also cool being in the community, same kind of thing, community, as I get lots of recommendations like, Shay, I think that this guy, these gemstones that this guy makes and cuts would be great for your jewelry. Check them out. Um, and so, yeah, so I'll get recommended different vendors and wholesalers, and I'll try some different things, but I've got my main guys.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. I
yeah.
love hearing the different sources that you source from because it's not just from one location, you know, it's from all over the world. And I love that you're
Mhm.
able to explore different options and different gem types. And to be frank, I don't know anything about gems, but I know that the gems that you have are beautiful. And that I was curious, is there a favorite gem or stone that you personally like?
Ooh, me personally, my absolute that's really tough because I like them all. But I'm not gonna lie, my absolute favorite is probably always gonna be labradorite. Um, it's a fascinating stone because it can be literally every single color of the rainbow and beyond. It's really incredible. Plus, the energetic properties of it are amazing. Like, it's a very protective stone. It's highly mystical. It helps deflect negative energies from penetrating your aura. So it's really good to wear, and if you want to go to work and you have coworkers that can kind of get to you and distract you from your work, it's good to wear, and helpful to even to just have on your body, even if you just carry a labradorite rock and you stuff it in your bra or in your pocket, whatever. But labradorite's probably my top and will always be my number one favorite. I love it.
I love that. I know I hear you say that word a lot, so I figured it was your favorite, but
Yeah.
I didn't want to assume. So, because there's so many different types, right, and colors.
Yeah, so many, and I could name my top 20 favorites, but that's too much.
Um, Throughout your 15 years, which congratulations first off, because not many people get to that point, and I'm like so happy for you, and the fact that you're able to turn this like passion into an actual business and still love it after this long is amazing. So first and
Yeah.
foremost, congratulations. And secondly, throughout the journey, there's probably been a lot, but is there like one awesome sauce moment that you've had throughout the journey that you're willing to share? Did that come through?
There's a connection.
Oh, is there a connection error? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I didn't hear anything you just said. Yes.
Okay, no worries.
I'm
I
so
was
sorry. I was like, is it going to come through? And then it didn't. So I was like, darn it. Okay. So
It's all good.
repeat.
I was gonna say throughout the 15 years that you've been in this journey, has there been an awesome sauce moment that you can remember that you're willing to share? I know there's been a lot probably, but is there like one that sticks out?
Yeah. Let me think. There's been a lot. Gosh. One standout that, you know what, I did take notes on all this, and I totally missed the awesome sauce question. It's the very last question. But I'm going to say, I'm going to say, the thing that sticks out in my mind the most is I think there was a real pivoting point for me in my business was when I did I had done a few markets and I'd done trunk shows and all that, but I did one of my first bigger markets was a raw. Was it raw? No, no, no. It was called Sugar. It was a sugar art show, art and fashion show, and it was on Capitol Hill. I think it was 2010 or 2011. And it was the busiest market at that time, but the busiest market I had ever had. I was so busy, and I was like, I felt like, I remember just feeling like while I was there, like, oh my gosh, like what happened? Like, how, where did all these people come from? Like they were all coming to my booth. And at the end of the night, I remember coming home and I had no idea what I had made that day. And I just remember adding up my sales at the end of the night and just crying. There's a bird in my apartment.
Oh.
Oh, little birdie. I hope you. You guys, there's a bird in my apartment. Oh, Binks, please don't.
Oh, no.
Oh. You guys, I have a bird in my apartment.
Oh my
I'm just going to show you because Binks, don't.
Oh.
No, no, no. Binks, no. No, 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 no. No, no, no. There's a bird in my apartment. Binks, no. Oh, no. You guys, can anybody tell me what to do? Where is he? Oh, no. Little birdie. Oh, no. You guys, did you see this? Binks, I might have to lock my cat in the bathroom. You guys, tell me, what should I do? I've never had this happen before. I will open my door all the way. You guys.
Yeah.
Little birdie, oh no. Oh no, what am I gonna do?
Mo just
Oh.
open up a window, and then Erica said grab a towel or a sheet.
A towel? Okay, but first I need to put my cat in the bathroom.
Yeah.
You guys.
Erica said,
I'm sorry. You guys, this is crazy. Where? Oh, there he is. Can you see him up there? Oh no. Oh my gosh.
Erica says grab a towel.
You're okay, little guy. Oh, he's the tiniest little thing too.
Oh.
Come here. Oh, we got to put Mr. Binks. Oh, I know. I'm sorry, baby, but you got to stay in here, okay? Thank you. Stay in there. I'm so sorry, baby. Okay, so grab a sheet. You guys. Oh, he's trying. Oh, little guy. How am I going to do this? Oh. Anybody? What are they saying?
Grab a towel to try and trap it under the towel and then carefully release it outside.
You almost did it. You almost went out the door. You guys. Oh my God. Oh, you're okay. Oof. Oh, don't do that. It's hard to throw a towel on him because he's up on my ceiling. And I don't want to hurt him. Oh, little sweetie.
I can't even.
You can't see?
No, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm blind.
Oh. I'm sorry. Let's see here. I got a blanket.
We can wrap this up. Okay, it's fine. Maybe you can tend to the bird.
I'm so sorry. Now I don't know where he's at.
Why don't we wrap this up? You tend to the bird, and because I think that's probably more important.
It totally is. I'm just so glad that it happened while I'm on here. I would have never thought my sliding glass door on my patio, because I leave that open so that because Binks has to go out. He will yell at me all day if I don't have the door open, so he can go outside as he pleases. So it flew right in through my patio door. There's always so he's wherever he's at. He's really quiet right now, so I can't find him. But yes, I'm going to catch little birdie
Yes.
I need to
You go
grab
do
a
that.
towel though. I think this blanket's a little too heavy, so I'll grab a towel. But I'm so glad that some people were on here when this happened, or I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't think of because I don't want to hurt him, right? He's tiny.
Yeah. No worries.
So I will
You go take
throw
care
a
of that.
little. Yes.
Okay.
This is so funny.
Well, everyone, thank you for your comments. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you, Shay, for being on with me. I appreciate it. Go take care of your bird situation. Love you. And thank you for being with me.
Thank you. You and
Okay.
wish me luck.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.